Hello there, my friends. It's good to be with you. I just want to discuss with you the idea of the Muslim empire or the Islamic empire. And haven't you seen, as I have, Muslims often romantically reflect about the great Islamic empire? You know, the Abbasid empire, the Umayyad empire, the Ottoman empire. And then almost like with nostalgia, you see the ordinary Muslim, the Arab or the Pakistani or wherever in the world they are, even those based in the West, would reminisce about what they read in history about the great era of the Islamic empires. And I just want to discuss that because it's become part of our sort of understanding, our collective understanding, that there used to be the Islamic empire, which was a just empire, which was a kind empire, and now we have the Shaitani empire, the West, American empire, the Roman empire before that. So all empires are evil, but only the Muslim empire is actually the benevolent and the kind empire. Now, I just want to say exactly the way you feel about the Muslim empire. That is how those who profess the Christian faith or sort of agnosticism or atheism, this is exactly how they feel about Roman and Greek, the Roman and the Greek empires. And they almost like, it's when you look at your childhood pictures, when you look at the family album, I don't know if you've got a family album at home, but if you look at all the pictures on your phone many years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you see everyone smiling. Everyone is happy. Why? Because they were smiling for the camera. And you would often say, wow, those were such happy years when everyone was happy and smiling. You see, the thing is, when you look back in history and you look at your pictures, you look at the poses, you look at the PR aspect of history. You're not looking at history as it really was. And the same goes for the Muslim empire, the so-called Islamic empire, because if ever there was a misnomer, then it is an Islamic empire. The Islamic empire was perhaps as cruel, as corrupt, as evil as any other man-made earthly domain or any other earthly domain established to the glory of the emperor or to the glory of the king. And that is exactly what the Islamic empire was. It wasn't established to the glory of God. It was established to the glory of the Umayyad dynasty, the Abbasid dynasty, to project the magnificence of the Mughal dynasty, or the Safavid dynasty, or the Ottoman dynasty. Meanwhile, people were languishing in poverty, in neglect, in wars. People were dying in wars. For what? For the glory of the Sultan, the glory of the emperor. And it continues up until today, where we have people dying for the glory of the billionaires of America and Europe. Poor people are going to armies, working for a meager salary or for medical cover or to feed their families. And that's why they join the army, to the glory of the Fortune 500 companies in America and the rich billionaires of Europe. So nothing has changed. People are dying, people are fighting, and they have this glitzy, glamorous, beautiful castles and palaces which they think they've earned or they've worked for, and that is their pride. It's not their pride, it's nothing to do with them. So the Muslim empire, the Islamic empire, is as corrupt, as demonic as any other empire that is established to the glory of a man or a family or a dynasty or a class. And I just want to point out to you that in the Qur'an, You show me one verse that calls on Muslims to go and establish an empire. Show me one verse. Go to the comment section and put it there for me so that I can see it. Any verse where the Qur'an instructs the ordinary average person to fight to the glory of, to earthly glory, to establish an empire, to establish an empire by which people can rule vast territories of other people's lands and their own lands. Instead, what the Qur'an says is that to take people's land without right cause is a great evil. To remove people from their homes is a great evil. And that is what empires do. Empires go, they attack foreign countries, they remove the people, they dislodge their wealth, and it's a grand act of piracy, of dispossession, of usurpation. And so the Muslim empires are no different. They went to Egypt, a country that at no point fought against the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam. They invaded Egypt. Egypt was ruled by Coptic Christians. And those people that invaded Egypt did so against any notion which the Qur'an lays out. Then they went to attack Rome. Then in the year 1492, I think, the Ottomans went and assaulted Constantinople and converted the biggest church in Eastern Europe to a mosque. Where's that? What's the justification in the Qur'an for that? To invade the Byzantine Empire or the Byzantine state, and to usurp and to take and to steal their land. Where's that? Where does that come from? So Egypt, Byzantium, Spain. What the heck was the Muslims doing invading Spain? That wasn't their land. What were they doing? And now Muslims today look back with nostalgia and with a sense of lost glory that Spain used to be Muslim. It used to be Muslim because Muslims went there and plundered it and occupied it. So my friends, if you don't like being thrown out of your homes, if you don't like being robbed of your land, then you shouldn't glorify anyone that robbed other people of their land. And you shouldn't turn that into some act of magnificence and glory. Empire building now, as is the case with Israel and America and European countries, usurping, bombing, killing innocent people is wrong now, and it was wrong when the second caliph invaded Jerusalem. And I know you're going to hate me for saying this, but I'm not here to say what you like. I'm here to tell you what my Qur'an teaches me. And if your Qur'an teaches you that you should go and rob other people's land and usurp their wealth and treat it like it's yours, then you need to show me the verse in the Qur'an where that is, please. As far as I can see, the Qur'an is a book that allows or legitimizes defensive warfare, not offensive warfare. And so I think we can redeem ourselves if you can snap out of the grip that your indoctrinators have on you. If you can start conceding that we have a dirty, bloody history that we ourselves need to be honest about, we don't have to take responsibility. You see, I'm not guilty of actions that people committed 1,000 years ago. But I am guilty if I glamorize it, if I glorify it, if I call for that to be repeated, then I am guilty, because now I'm turning from just being innocent to those actions to becoming a complicit after the fact. I'm now covering up the lie. I'm covering up the crime. And you cover up a crime after the fact, it is part It is as if though you committed the crime. So my brothers and sisters, I ask you again, study your Qur'an. Nowhere is there this thing of the Islamic empire. And I want to end off by saying, name me one Muslim great king or leader. I'll give you the examples of Solomon, David, Muhammad alayhi salam. Did they have ambitions to build empires? Any of them? They were three so-called Muslim kings. Let's say the Prophet Muhammad also ended up being a very powerful leader to the level of almost a king. Did they ever pursue becoming emperors or kings or rulers of people? No, they never. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was promised a kingdom in Mecca and he refused it. He declined it. No honest and just leader ever aspired to being what he ended up being. Allah chose people to become great and glorious leaders of their people. And when you choose yourself for that, you are bound to fail. You are bound to become abusive in that position. So that's the short message I want to share with you. Let us correct our stance, our perspective on history, so that we can correct our present understanding and not try and harbor a sort of a bipolar mindset. Bipolar, it's wrong for others, but it's right for me. Let us fix our thinking so that we can fix our practice and create a better world. Alhamdulillah.